Welcome back to K2TV Sports Corner.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. We're here at CNFR in the middle of the week right now. I'm down here with Wacey Dorenkamp, who represents Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Wacey, how are you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, as a matter of fact. Thank you. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. This is his first time here at CNFR. He's competing as a hazer in the steer wrestling event. So now that you're down, or I guess to say down here in Casper, how's it been for you?
It's been pretty fun. Me and my steer wrestler, Bradley Ralph, we've had a lot of fun, and it's been just a fun year getting up here, as a matter of fact.
Has the drive been long?
It was. We started off in Alva, Oklahoma, and then we stopped at my house in Colorado about halfway through, stayed the night, and then drove the rest of the way on, I think, that Saturday.
Sounds like a fun little road trip to the start of a great week at CNFR. Yes, tell me a little bit about what goes into the job as a hazer.
Well, more than anything, what you're there to do is to keep the steers straight as the bulldogger gets out and then gets down on the steer and gets a head catch. There's actually a lot that goes into it, and people don't understand. Like, the announcers will always say about bulldog and hazing horses, they have the simplest job. I would highly disagree. They honestly have one of the most complex jobs because they have to be super independent and know what to do at what times.
Right, so let's try and help people understand a little bit more about what goes into your job. As you were preparing for CNFR, what were some things that you and the steer wrestler, your partner, have gone through in these weeks leading up to today?
Mainly we went and just entered a bunch of amateur rodeos in Kansas and Oklahoma and just tried to keep sharp, on the barrier, on starts and all that kind of stuff. So
I can imagine that it's a lot of pressure. You have to come out of the gate and keep that steer in line. Do you ever get nervous, or how are the emotions going into that event with your buddy?
I get extremely nervous, as a matter of fact. Backing in, it's, oh no, if I mess up, that's all on me. You're kind of like the offensive line in football. You're only noticed if you mess up.
That's a good comparison. So tell me a little bit about your friendship with the steer wrestler. You said his name is Bradley?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how does that camaraderie work between you two? And tell me a little bit about your friendship. Were you guys friends just to compete in this event together, or does it go a little farther back?
No, ma'am. We actually high school rodeo together. I started my sophomore year high school rodeoing for Kansas, and that's where I met Brad. And he was bulldogging, and so was I. And he had a guy hazing for him, and I had my dad. And about through his senior year, I think halfway through, that guy's horse got hurt, so he jumped on mine, and that's kind of what started the friendship.
So that kind of turned you over to the hazing. You kicked your dad out of the spy, and you said, all right, Dad, I'm going to be the hazer now.
Yeah, I actually kind of started for my dad in my senior year. We were home, and there were only three of us, me, my dad, and my mom, and he needed a bulldog, and I needed a bulldog, so he's like, well, get on the horse, and don't run me over.
Oh, my gosh, and you've been doing this since what age in high school?
About 17.
Wow. Okay,
yes,
so
ma'am.
That's awesome. Going forward, do you think that you'll ever be the one that's going to be the bulldogger, or you're going to stick to hazing?
I plan on trying to make it here next year with Brad, and then he can haze for me, and I can haze for him.
Okay. And when do you guys when is your event that you guys compete in?
Excuse me?
When do you guys compete next?
Tonight, actually.
Tonight.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
So Wednesday night. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tonight's interview and letting us all in on what goes into hazing.
Yes,
that has to be a tough job, and I give you a lot of credit.
Well, thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, too. Thanks so much. We'll be back right after the break.